We're talking with Lindsay Brooks, the owner of Runaway Spoon. She is a very well-known pastry chef. A lot of the desserts that you eat when you go out to a restaurant, she's responsible for those. She'll cook for your party, cater your party, your luncheon, does amazing pastries and wedding cakes too. Busy weekend for you, I understand.
It is.
Huh?
Labor Day weekend is always busy. There's some catering going on. There's wedding cakes going on, Door County to English pub parties. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Well,
We're looking forward to it.
Good for you. Boy, I tell you, right now the tomatoes are. People think you know, July tomatoes, and boy, it's now when the tomatoes are fantastic.
You'll be lucky if you get a few that you can pick in July, but really in the fall time is when you can barely keep up on them. So you're trying to find something new, something different, and quick and easy that you can do with them for as many as you actually have.
And this is a very elegant hors d'oeuvre or first course for a dinner, and we cheated a little bit. Tell everybody about these, because these are one of my favorite secrets to looking like a rock star the easy way.
Yeah, so these are actually a frozen pastry tart. You can buy it in any freezer. They're from Pepperidge Farms. Really simple. You just take them out of the package, put them onto a cookie sheet, put them into the oven. I think it says 350 for about 20 minutes or so. And they come up looking just as we have them here. I get questions all the time of what's a tart dough recipe, what can I do? And we make them all from scratch at the Runaway Spoon, but if you're going quick and easy, and if it's something that it's a Saturday afternoon and you're just kind of looking for something, making tart dough might take a little bit too long and taking the time to roll it out, which therefore becomes a little frustrating. We want it to be quick and easy. So these are great to go to, run to, keep a package in your freezer, use them when you have an unexpected guest coming around or some extra tomatoes floating around.
And I do so much with these babies. And as Lindsay said, you don't even have to thaw them. You don't thaw them. You just, they kind of like, they look like frozen discs.
Hockey pucks
almost,
yeah.
Yeah. And you put them right from the freezer onto a cookie sheet. They're done in 20 minutes. And I'll do scrambled eggs and like a cheese sauce and ham for brunch. I'll fill them with berries and whipped cream for a dessert. You know, chicken a la king, turkey a la king, lobster, you know, in cream sauce over these, and it's just, wow, people are freaked out and amazed, but they're so easy.
They're easy, and the flavors are neutral. It's just butter.
Right.
So butter can go with sweet or savory at that point. So
exactly.
they're definitely good to have on hand.
So tart shells baked, and do we want them cooled normally?
Yeah, you know, I normally bake them in the morning of and use them that same day.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things where you don't want to put them in the refrigerator. Again, they get a little bit firmer and a little bit tougher to eat, where these are really light and flaky the day you bake them.
Okay, all right. So those are done and ready to roll. Now we're going to start filling them.
Yeah, so tomatoes. Tomatoes came from my garden. Picked them up this morning. And we have a whole bunch of heirloom ones that grow outside of our shop. They don't have to be cherry tomatoes. They can be whole Roma tomatoes. They can be your big, huge, early grill ones as well. You just want to make sure you just cut them in half or chop them up.
But it's fun to use the different colors, and you know, these are ripe, even though some of them are green.
Yep, the
and
green
different
grape
colors.
ones.
Yeah, but even if you just go to the grocery store, I know at Festival they have the cherry tomatoes and the grape tomatoes. They come in yellow and red, so sometimes they'll just buy a few of both, and they just really make a recipe pop. You know,
they add a little more color, and you know, we have I think 14 or 15 different tomatoes in our shop. But they all have a different flavor. They all taste like a tomato, but really when you sit down and I'm picking them off the plant and I'm eating them, they all taste different, which is kind of great when you get that medley going inside of your tomato tart. So.
Yeah, exactly. We also picked up some fresh mozzarella balls, and these you can just pick up in the, you know, kind of the specialty cheese section of your grocery store. These are made by Bel Gioioso, our local cheese plant here that gets rave reviews all over the world for their Italian cheeses. They're like cherry-sized little balls of fresh mozzarella.
Yep.
So do we need to cut them, or we're just going to leave them whole?
It's up to you. I like to leave them whole as something a little bit chunkier inside of this tart. You can cut them up, or you can buy the different sizes that Bel Gioioso has too. They make a little pearl one, which is nice for like a pasta salad.
Sure.
Or you can buy the whole log. It's just kind of harder to cut up and make it look nice. But
we're all about quick and easy today.
Yes.
So in these go whole. Should I just throw them in there?
Go right ahead.
But all of them, or maybe?
About 50-50 mix between your tomatoes and your mozzarella.
Okay.
So. And then, Amy, if you want to take those tartlets, you're going to rip the tops off of them.
Do we want to be saving the tops or use them for something else?
No, you know, we're not going to use the tops for anything. Sometimes you can. I'm sure if you film with something, you put the little tops back on, like a little individual pot pie.
Yes.
But for this, I like to have the tomatoes on display.
Okay, so they're going to be the showstopper. So you can just use your fingers and just clean out the insides. Sometimes I'll split the biscuits in half if I'm doing like a turkey a la king. So there's a lot of ways that you can do these. You know?
Exactly. Don't feel that you're limited just to one direction.
Right.
And the last ingredient, so tomato tartlets, traditional basil. Gotta have it in there.
Right.
At our shop, we have a couple different varieties. So
Ooh, that's a neat one.
This is an African blue basil.
Ooh, and does it smell good?
It does. It has a little bit spicier flavor to it versus the regular sweet basil. So I'm going to mix them up and put them in there together.
So it's like this is basically a caprese salad kind of in a tart shell.
In a tart, a way to serve it. You know, last night we did an event that had tomato mozz skewers on it. So we took a little shot glass and then put a tomato, basil, mozzarella, put it into the shot glass, put a little bit of olive oil and vinegar on it, and then passed them around that way.
Fun.
Just another quick way to be able to use up those tomatoes.
Sure.
Because in the wintertime, you're not going to be able to want to do this. So. All right.
Well, they're just not as good.
They're not the same, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So the basil, I just put a really quick cut on it. Doesn't have to be anything great. We want to keep it very rustic.
Okay.
Throw it in our tomato mixture.
Oh, nothing like that fresh basil. The smell of that, wow.
It makes a big difference. So if you're not fortunate enough to have it in the garden, go to the store, pick up a little package. It's worth it for this recipe.
Yes.
If you want to add about a tablespoon or so of oil just to kind of coat everything, marry those flavors together. A nice amount of black pepper. I really think that this can really help flavor the dish, because there isn't really much in here and you just want to accent what's there, but that salt and pepper makes all those flavors pop.
And the cheese can be very boring. It's wonderful, but it really does need a little bit of something.
It does. Fresh mozzarella is great because of how neutral and creamy it is and soft, but there's no flavor there. So you want to make sure that you do add salt, as most other cheeses have salt already in them.
And we use some kosher salt or sea salt. Again, there's 3 or 4 ingredients in here, so using the best really makes a big difference.
And that's just it. The trick about quick and easy is using good quality ingredients, because they're quick and easy, but you have a really good base to it. So we're going to give this a good toss.
But imagine you don't want to crush up the tomatoes. You want to keep everything.
And you could serve it just like this, but what's nice about putting it in as a tart is it seems a little bit special. You can have it as a plate, as an appetizer, rather than just as a side dish. All right, a nice little stir. And this is something.
Abby just came back from our party and she said, they serve the most amazing caprese salad. She said, I normally don't like it, but this was amazing. And I said, you know why? Because the tomatoes are at the peak right now, the basil, everything, is perfect. So
it's one of the things that if you're craving this in December, you can't make it because it won't taste the same. But in the summertime, it's when you need to really enjoy it.
Right, exactly.
All right. So this is something you're going to want to make just before you actually fill them. So the tarts could get baked in the morning if you wanted, but this actual filling,
you want to keep it nice and fresh.
You want to keep it fresh. The basil will bruise easily, and your tomatoes will start to break down a little bit. So you want to do it last minute, but you have a little bit of forgiveness on it.
I'm trying to get a little bit of each of the color tomato,
Beautiful.
I can help you out at your next catering gig, Linz. Put me to work.
Well, if you're free this weekend, we'll take you along.
So I'm making a mess here. Maybe you don't want to hire me. And then are we going to finish it off? I see some balsamic there.
Yeah, so balsamic glaze is another great component. It's not needed. Not everyone likes balsamic vinegar out there. But this is a balsamic glaze that we make in the shop. So it's vinegar boiled down with a little bit of sugar. So it's a little bit sweeter. It's not so strong. And it's more of a syrupy consistency. So once we get those filled, we're going to take this and just kind of drizzle it all over the top. It's a really nice garnish, but it also is a really good tartness that comes through.
All right, let's do that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you want to dress them up, kind of like the lipstick on before you go out of the house?
Yep.
Yum. Those are gorgeous. And if you want to get a hold of Lindsay, Runaway Spoon. Are you online as well, Lindsay?
Runspoon.com.
All right. Recipes on our website.